What's good? It's your boy DJ Benny Bladez. Welcome to Bladez and Friends, episode number 5.
New England's hottest DJ, DJ Benny
Ladies, you heard her.
Bladez.
You heard her. I didn't say it. She said it.
Benny Bladez.
Crystal, tell him again.
DJ
What?
Benny Bladez.
All right, you know what I'm saying? What's up? So this week we got a special episode because you're gonna be hearing my story. My story is super crazy. And I have my homegirl Jen from Illest Ink Tattoo to interview me. Welcome.
Sweet.
Welcome, Jen. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Before we get into that, let me. I got to run through my my sponsors. I actually got a few new ones. You boys kind of blowing up out here a little bit. My numbers is going up. Just saying. All right. So first one is we got mytips.com. It's a fresh new fashion accessory that will also help protect your aglets. That's the metal or plastic to be fixed tightly around your shoelace at the end of that. From day-to-day wear and tear, it's an innovative cover that will supplement the original aglet while providing a dope accessory that will help you stand out. Different
That's
colors.
different.
Yep, different colors to customize logos. They'll customize your sneakers, your shirts, whatever. Just make you stand out, make you be fly. It's my-tipz.com or 508-963-7494. Next, we got A Plus Auto Services in Cranston, Rhode Island. It's my boy over there, Mikey. 401-280-1264. They do everything from tires to tint, including all general repair, audio, tints, lift kits, rims and tires. Mention my name, get a 10% discount. There you go. Next thing, we got APB Vapes, my good friends that own the dopest vaping shops in all of Rhode Island. They got locations in Cranston, Cumberland, and the newest one on Thayer Street, which is the dopest one. The number there is 401-272-0972. They actually have a Biggie Smalls pillow.
Yeah, they got artwork up in there too.
They won't tell me. They won't tell me where they got the Biggie Smalls pillow, which pisses me off. Brandon, you.
My girl Kristen at my shop could make you a Biggie Smalls pillow.
How about that, Brandon? Cut you right out. They do. They're a full service vape shop. Full line of house e-liquid. They got the latest in mods and pod system, replacement parts, apparel, and the best service around. And you also get a 10% discount for saying my name. And these are my good friends. All the locations are super, super dope. The way they have it set up inside. The one on Thayer Street, I believe they sell local artists' work, which is dope, which I believe you do also.
Yep.
And it's just really fly in there. Like, you got to go in on Thayer Street. On a nice summer day, you're up there walking around, you have to stop in there. It's a really, really cool spot, and the service is the best. Okay, next, we got Boneheads Live in Fall River. The number is 508-231-9464. It's a dope location. It's off the waterfront. It's in Battleship Cove. It's got 2 full bars, friendly service, a large outdoor patio. I believe they just opened up in the center of the Rec and Arts District of Fall River, with the dope view of the Braga Bridge. A wide variety of entertainment from bands to comedy. And they have food there. The food there is wicked dope. It's a lot of wings and barbecue items and so good. You have to go check that out. And the live music venue is wicked dope too. Next, we got my newest sponsor to welcome to the fold is a Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Okay, now I met with these people yesterday. They're wicked cool. It's a really cool thing. They're on Thayer Street and they're on Waterman Street in Prov. The Waterman Street is 401-383-3487. I believe that's the Waterman one. So it's a healthy restaurant specializing in smoothies, wraps, bowls, toasted flatbreads, and toasted sandwiches. And they have a real cool thing they call it. They call it a cubby area where you can order it online on your phone, and then your order is waiting in a cubby hole for you. Just walk in, grab it.
So you just walk in and grab it, like when you get your meats at Stop and Shop, you just grab it.
Yeah, it's waiting in a cubby hole. It's pretty dope. And so I met with one of the managers last night, Mike, and he was a really good dude. I'm actually gonna have him on as a guest really soon. And yeah, it's a really cool spot, man. It's all healthy. And it's a family environment. They treat their employees really good. They're all really happy. And people love it, man. I was in there and people were in and out of there. And it's healthy. You know what I mean? Let's face it. Burger King is not going to make you look good for the beach. You're going to look like a shit bag. So how about you have a smoothie or a wrap or something like these? It's not expensive either. You know what I mean? These fast food companies trick you into thinking it's quicker and it's shit, man. It's shit. Once in a while it's all right, but
yeah, do something good for yourself.
Exactly. So then, last but not least, we have J Carpentry, a good buddy of mine, Keith. He's out of Cumberland. and he does finish, remodeling, and decks. 20 years experience, and you can find them on Facebook and in the Cumberland area. And that's it for now. So they're actually so you're gonna be a sponsor again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So why don't you? I'm gonna turn the interview over to you, and you say what you do, talk about your place, and then we'll just get into.
All right, cool. So I am part owner of Illest Ink Tattoo and Art Studio in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It's a very unique tattoo studio. So we have two separate areas. One which is very family friendly. So if you gotta bring your kids. We got local artwork up from local artists, and we're always switching out the art.
Can I put crayon drawings in there?
Nah, not unless you like melt them. Forget about it.
Oh, fuck.
So we got that going on. We got some amazingly talented, really dedicated artists, and it's just a really fun, happy, inviting atmosphere. It's different than walking into a dark shop and you feel like you're doing something bad.
Yeah,
People
no,
there,
it's
they come
definitely-
in, they have fun. We got music. We have parties. We got.
You ever
food.
play that guy Benny Blades up in there?
No, not yet.
You best be soon. I
will.
got a new single.
You gotta drop it.
I'm gonna on this show very soon after I
Alright.
shoot the video.
Sweet, I can't wait.
But no, it is a cool setup inside. The last time I went I hadn't been there in a while, and it updated a lot. Like it was like bright in there, and it was very inviting.
Yeah, we're literally investing everything we make into that shop. So every client that
You
comes
have
in
to.
the door,
Yeah.
we're so thankful to them because
Yeah,
they're
you have
just
to build
helping
a
us
brand.
grow, and yeah, it's definitely an experience. It's awesome. So come on down, check us out. Even if you just get a free consultation, you know what I mean?
Do
we
they
have
get a
specials.
discount if they say the Benny Blades name?
Yeah, absolutely.
How
We can
much?
do 10%.
10 to say Ben. There you go.
10%.
So every place I said today, 10 if you say Ben.
Yeah, and check us out on Facebook too. Search Illest Ink Tattoo and Art Studio on Facebook. That's where you'll find most of our content, our artwork, our communication, our deals, etc.
All right.
right.
Now the interview is your turn.
Now it's my turn.
Yep.
So you've been interviewing all these people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there's chicks out there, or maybe some cougars or something, that want to know about your story. So
right.
where'd you grow up?
So I was born in Boston, the Bean. I was born in Boston. I lived in Brockton when I was a little kid. No offense to Brockton, but thank God we moved out of there. It's kind of crazy. And then we moved to Milford, Massachusetts. I lived there till I was in like 5th grade. Then I moved to Blackstone, Massachusetts, a little small town. And yeah, I grew up, small town mentality. This is before the internet and all that.
Yeah.
But, I got bullied a little bit when I was a kid. And I went to my father for advice, and this is kind of what shaped my life a little bit. And he gave me like the worst advice ever. He told me to run from fights and tell the teacher. And I said, huh? Raggy? What the fuck are you talking about? So around the same time, I got into hip hop heavy, especially Tupac and NWA. So that's where I learned to like basically become a man, from thug life and all that shit. And that's what got me into fighting, and I got into selling drugs and just being a knucklehead on the street. So that, I really gravitated towards that I don't give a fuck attitude. So I always clashed with authority, whether it be teachers or whatever. So I started just wilding out. Ended up dropping out of high school like an idiot and went full force into selling drugs. I got popped selling weed back in the day.
Now, were you
just
working
little
on
stuff.
your music while you were getting in trouble? No, you were just
No,
focused on
I was-
fucking up.
I was focused on being Tupac. I
No.
wanted to be Tupac really
It's never-
bad, the
never
white
gonna
white Pac. I actually have thug life on my own. But anyways, I digress. But so, and I'm just being honest. Kind of cracking on myself too. But yeah, so I was trying to be just a gangster, And I started selling weed, and then I caught my first real charge that I went to prison for. It was a strong arm robbery. And I actually caught a bid for that one. I was on bail for a while. And I was with a chick while I was on bail. She's a homegirl of mine now, Erica, that, I still think to this day, maybe if I didn't go to jail, maybe me and her would have worked out. I mean, I'm glad we're still friends, but it almost feels like jail really fucked up a lot of things in my life. But it's not jail's fault. It's my fault for being a knucklehead. You know what I mean?
Right. You
So
gotta take responsibility for that shit.
So the things it's my fault that all this happened. So anyways, I go for my first bid. I come home. I go legit for about 2 months. I'm working, doing construction. Then I was like, fuck this. Started selling weed again. Now I'm getting money. And then I graduated to cocaine. I met a buddy was my connect forever. He's still a good friend of mine. and I bumped up to the coke world, and then that was it. I was off to the races after that. I mean, if you can see that, I literally tattooed Tony Montana on my arm because I was that much into selling cocaine and being a douchebag. But but I was pretty successful at that. I had, at one point at the pinnacle of my career, I had 2 houses. I had a Jaguar, 20-inch rims. I had gold, diamonds. I had a boat. I'd been on trips to Jamaica, Puerto Rico, New York, Las Vegas, Florida. So I don't regret like any of that. Like I got to see culture. Like I've been to Jamaica. I've been to other countries where people have no house or they live in a hut. They have no running water. You know what I mean? So it puts things in perspective when you come home. Things we take for granted, like running water, electricity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's insane, man. And to see these things people complain about every day, it's like, dude, go to a third world country, man. You're not complaining about any of that shit. You know?
Really.
So yeah, I went hardcore into that, and around that time is when I started getting back into music. I always loved music, and I used to write it, but I never pulled the trigger and really did anything about it. So around that time is when I started writing and then recording. So I recorded my first album.
How old were you?
Till 2003, whatever that. I was young, like 20 something. Okay. But I was in full psycho mode. It was like called "I Am What You Made Me," and it was just like mad pissed off at my dad.
Yeah.
And I just want to sell weed and beat everyone up. It was fucking crazy. So I recorded it. I actually never even put it out. Never did nothing with it. And then for years, I just dove into being a hardcore drug dealer. Like no work, no fucking nothing. Just I'm gonna sell drugs. I'm going to get chains. I'm going to get as many girls as I can.
How did you sleep at night?
I drank, got cocked, and I had money. It was hard to sleep, actually, because I always felt like the cops were going to kick my door in while I was sleeping.
Well, I can imagine.
That ties in later. So I actually lived in Pawtucket most of that time, over by, it's called Grace Street. It's at the end of Division.
Yeah.
And then after that, me and my connect actually got a place, and we lived in North Providence, had a really nice spot, and then we bought a house. We had a house, and then I actually went from there to owning my own house, and then I had 2 houses.
Wow.
Then I had a luxury loft eventually. So anyway, then I took a long time off from music, but then I started getting the itch again to want to do it. So I started recording again. I started recording with a dude by the name of DJ Naughty, local dude, my boy, and then Lingo, the head of the Grind Mode Generals, and Grind Mode. And I recorded an album with them. It was my best work to date. I actually had a song on the radio, DJ Lefty, shout out to him. He was playing it for me. It was called We Run Rhode Island. But the whole song was me bragging about selling cocaine, like literally bragging about selling cocaine, and then that the cops, fuck the cops. I said, there was a line where I said, fuck the cops, they were a bunch of fags. The only way I'm getting bags with a fucking toe tag. And the important part about that is that, I'll tie that back in. So I was born with a heart problem. That's the biggest issue here, is I was born with a heart murmur. And since I was a kid, I never listened to what the doctors said about what to do and what not to do. They said, don't lift weights, don't play contact sports, don't do anything, just sit in your room, basically. So I was like, fuck that, I'm not living like that. Yeah, so I just did whatever I wanted. And then, I used to box, get in fights, I'd lift weights. And then I started getting into doing steroids like a fucking idiot. So when I started getting into steroids, I got like pretty big. And when when you're bigger, it puts more pressure on your heart. So, and then I was like addicted to them at the time because of I look good and it's just addictive.
Was it like speed, or was it like?
No, I did D-ball, which makes you big, and then a bunch of Winnie, which shreds you up. So the shred up stuff, like you can eat whatever you want and still be shredded up. It's crazy. You can eat pizza and tacos every day and drink, and you'd be like shredded up like you're running marathons. So it's wicked addictive. They call it like the fountain of youth, So I got addicted to that, and then at the same time, I had a really beautiful girlfriend I was with. I had moved out of I had a house in Riverside. I moved out of that because I was trying to sell it, and I got a luxury loft in downtown Providence.
Nice.
Yep, 10 stories up at the Regency Plaza, me and her. So I got a beautiful girlfriend. I got a Jaguar. I got a truck. I got a boat. I got 2 houses. I got gold, diamonds. I got an album I'm about to drop, but my health goes bad, and I almost die, basically. So I get to a point where I can't walk 20 feet without hunching over going.
And how old are you at this point?
Like 31, I believe.
31 years old, okay.
Yeah, 31. So my girlfriend at the time was a nurse. So she was constantly on me like you got to go to the doctors. You can't have problems with your breathing. You can't walk around like that. So I'm like, but I hate hospitals. So I fought it forever. But then finally I went to Rhode Island Hospital, and they held me for 4 days. They ran tests. I had to tell them everything I was doing. I'm drinking, I'm doing steroids, I'm doing some ecstasy here and there. And they were like, what the fuck? So they're like, all right, you got to clean out from everything, and then we're going to do open heart surgery on you. So I'm like...
So you had to detox first before you could actually take care of your heart.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
A month.
A month.
So for that month, I knew I was getting open heart surgery. I stopped doing everything, and I told all my customers at the time, yo, I'm going to be out of commission for like a week. So if you need anything, like, get it before. They're like, and I made the mistake of saying what I was going to do. So I'm going to get open heart surgery like an idiot. So it turns out one of my customers was a paid informant. And I didn't know that, obviously. Yeah. So and this guy was the scummiest of the scum. If you ever see this, fuck you. I met other dudes. I met other dudes in jail he fucking ratted on too. This guy was the biggest drug addict loser you'll ever meet in your life. And the cops would just pay him to get high and then set up dealers. Not like I'm any better for dealing, but this guy had kids that he didn't even have in school. Like, he was just a total scumbag fuck. And here the cops are like just saying, oh, it's all right, just set the guy up.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They do that shit. It's weird.
So anyways, so this guy tells on me. He does this long statement of how he goes in my house and that there's... Like, I have a kilo out and I just break off a gram for him. That was like exactly what it wrote. Like, okay, bro. Number one, he'd never been to my apartment. But it doesn't matter. He knew where I lived. I only sold to him like twice. And then, so I go in for my surgery. I go in for my surgery on a Wednesday. Friday, they go to the Regency. They got their badges. They got the warrants. And they tell the Regency, hey, if you don't let us in, we're going to bash his door in. So we're going in regardless. So you want to let us in or what? And they're like, yeah, no problem, we'll let you in. They went in, they caught me with a gun, a bunch of coke, and some weed. So they caught me with all that. I'm laid up in the hospital, didn't even know what happened. So I believe they were going to wait for me to come home and then just vamp me as soon as I came home. But luckily, I came home one day early because I was bitching so much in the hospital. They just wanted to kick me out. So I left. I went from a wheelchair to my mother's car. I could hardly walk. My chest was still bloody and bandaged. And I walked into my apartment, and it was ransacked. Looked like I got robbed. And now I'm here with my mother, of all people. Like, that's totally embarrassing. Yeah. My mother's like, what happened? I mean, she knew I was fucking around, but she didn't know to the extent. So I try to go to my stash. My stash is gone. I said, motherfucker. So I thought at that point, I could have gotten robbed. It didn't, you don't know, a cop did it. You know what I mean? Right. So I go down to the front desk to a guy I know. I said, hey, what happened? He pulls me aside. He goes, and he gets the owner of the Regency. I'll never forget this. The owner comes out and apologizes to me. And he goes, listen, I'm so sorry. He's like, you've always been one of our good tenants. You pay everything on time. But they came here with all the stuff and we had to let them in. I'm like, nah, bro, it's cool. I believe they were supposed to call the cops and say I was there, but they didn't. So I got a head start on them. So I jumped in my mother's car. I took off to Mass. I got myself a lawyer right that day. He told me, he's like, go on the run. He's like, because if they catch you, you're not getting any bail. I'm like, dude, my chest is bleeding. He's like, they don't care, bro. You're a violator. You're done. Your lawyer
told you to go on the run.
Recover from open heart surgery,
wow.
Dude. You're out of commission for like weeks. Like, you can't even move. Like, an intake, and everyone knows it's been to jail. They don't care. I seen guys in there on one leg hopping around. I seen guys in there with like jaundice, yellow, about to die. I've seen people die. I've seen mad people die in jail. Like, not in front of me, but mad people died in jail. Like, they don't care.
They don't care.
No, they don't care. You can't be like, hey, I just had open heart surgery. Yeah, but you're a violator. Get the fuck over here. So I went on the run. He calls the cops. He says, listen, the kid's going to turn himself in. You got to let him recover. They're like, yeah, whatever. They were like, but if we catch him, we're bringing him. He's like, yeah. So my lawyer just says, stay the fuck off the streets, hide. So I hid at a spot they didn't know about, but I was wicked depressed. So the first night I was drinking like a fucking idiot, but I was wicked depressed. I knew I was going to jail for a long time.
Right.
I ain't no snitch, so I'm gonna go to jail for a long time. I just lost everything, including almost my life. And I'll be honest, that first night I really did consider killing myself, to be honest with you, because I'll never be a rat. But who the fuck wants to go to jail for that long after open heart surgery? But obviously, I wised up and I didn't, but what I did do was start drinking. So I was drinking a lot before I went in, and my body actually got fucked up off it, and my legs filled up with blood, and I almost died. I had to get life flighted from Milford Hospital to Rhode Island Hospital, and they had to do emergency open heart surgery on me again. So I had open heart surgery twice in like a matter of a month. And I was lucky to survive both of them. The doctor made a point to go up to my mother and say, he almost died on the table, because they don't know how bad you are until they crack you and start messing around in there.
Right.
So he made a point. I wish I could have saw something. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, I saw the tunnel light and all that. And that's why I'm kind of up and down on believing in God. But I do believe there's some type of higher power. But I didn't see anything, nothing, no fire, no clouds, no nothing. I don't know. I mean, I was under the anesthesia or whatever. So, but either way,
So you died. You died.
No. I barely survived. I like almost died.
So your heart didn't stop completely.
No. He just said his words were, we almost lost him on the table twice. So what that exactly means, I don't know. I believe it means I almost died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just slept through it or whatever. But anyways, yeah. So after that, I recovered a couple more weeks, and then I turned myself in. I turned myself in with my lawyer, no statement, no nothing, ship them right to intake. So the one funny thing that happened is the cops busted my balls when they were fingerprinting me. They were fingerprinting me, and he goes, I thought the only way you're getting bagged was a toe tag. And I said, you heard that? He goes, yup. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was
great.
it. I didn't say nothing.
At least they were listening to your shit, though.
No, they used it, and we'll show a copy of my paperwork in this. They used it as evidence against me. It says it right in there. They had my name, Benny Bladez, with a Z and everything. It was crazy. And then these cops that raided me, they actually went to prison themselves. Operation Deception.
We're also working developing news tonight on the Providence police scandal known as Operation Deception. Today, police responded to the Providence home of the suspected mastermind in a cocaine investigation that resulted in the arrest of 6 people, including 3 Providence police officers.
Detective Colin Duano was the one who got me, and guess what? He was a drug dealer himself. He was robbing from all the drug dealers in Providence and then selling the drugs himself to other drug dealers, and he was selling cocaine to the chief at the time. It was huge news, and I was sitting in jail like, that's the guy on my case.
Wow.
But I couldn't get off because he was actually the cop that found my coke, but he wasn't the main arresting officer on my paperwork. So he went to jail too, 8 years, the same thing as me, but he got first shot parole, hiding up in PC the whole time, So it's funny how things work like that. Like, who's worse, me for selling drugs or him for being a cop that's taking drugs off the streets and putting them back on the streets? You know what I mean?
Crazy.
But that's how crazy. That's how crazy.
The justice system.
Well, no, not even that, but that's how crazy Rhode Island is.
So was your girl there for you this whole time, or was she like, I'm out?
So me and my chick had broken up a little before it, and but we were still kind of talking, still loved each other. And then she came to see me in intake, and I basically just cut her loose. I just said, hey, I don't want to have a relationship when I'm in here. Number one, she was the prettiest girl I ever been with. I had kind of like dogged her out a little bit. Like, I didn't treat her fantastic. So I knew she wasn't going to wait. Right. And I didn't blame her. So I just did the right thing and said, I love you, but I want you to go live your life. I'm catching like 10 to 8 years. You know what I mean? So she's like, well, I was like, relationships don't work when you're in jail. She goes, well, you never know. And I'm like, no, I do know. Aww. They don't. Nah, dude. I told her, just be my friend. Just visit me when you can. Send me letters. That lasted about 2 months. So clearly she wasn't going to ride for me as my girl. And I can get back to her too, because we ended up hooking back up when I got out. But anyway, so here I am in jail, fresh on 8 years. I can't believe it. I'm talking to people, they're like, 8 years, I'd hang it up. All these young kids. I'm like, what the fuck? So whatever, man, I did my bit. I met some really good dudes. Dudes that I still fuck with today. Pause. I went to meet him. And I met some good dudes, and they told me the right things to do to get out of there, to get involved in the schooling, and just, try to stay out of trouble, just lift weights, exercise. Medium was dope. That sounds weird, but it was like a college campus. Like, it's like green grass, softball field. You
got like TVs in your rooms there, too,
yeah, of course. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Softball field, basketball, they got volleyball. It's crazy. So anyways, I was there for like 3.5 years. Then I went to minimum I made parole. And I went home. I violated parole after like 5 months. I was being a knucklehead.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, well, just a dirty urine. Not that that's anything that's great, but it was just one dirty urine. And they made me flatten my whole bit. Oh, actually, I want to talk about this. So when I went back, they had the thing called the halfway back program, and they give it to people that catch a dirty urine and are on parole because they're so packed they shouldn't be back in jail. So, anyways, I had to flatten my bid. I came home. I've been home ever since. I went back into music. I actually did a lot of stuff with my boy Vertigo. I've got like 5 or 6 videos I've done. It's just hard to make it, you know? So I kind of fell back for a while, but I'm actually about to start putting stuff out again. But the other thing I must mention, the big thing that happened to me right before I came home was that my best friend died 2 weeks before I came home. My boy, Jeff Gilbo, I made a video about it called Gone But Not Forgotten. But
I saw that video.
Yeah, he died 2 weeks before I came home. He was my best friend. He had the same birthday as me. He lived 2 houses down from me. And we were just really connected, you know, like that, like friend-wise. And, I missed the wake, the funeral, and everything, which I'm kind of happy because I don't want to see him like that. But it's been rough, man. Ever since I've been home, I still go by his family's house all the time. They're like a second family to me, the Gilbos in Blackstone, Massachusetts. Wicked good family. They've been through a lot. I'm actually want to get one of them to come on and tell their story. So ever since then, I started making music. I started doing construction. And the music thing, like I did my thing. I've worked with my boy Flip Jackson. I'll have him on soon. He's done a lot of my beats. I do a lot of things with him. He's incredibly talented. I'm gonna have him on soon. And then my boy Knox Beats, who is actually the main producer for Token and Joyner Lucas. I have exclusive records with him. I have one that I'm gonna drop when I can do a video called "Here for a Reason." It's basically what I'm gonna call this episode too. It's gonna be my life story. He made the beat out of a heartbeat. That's how he started it, and it's just incredible. And I spit. Heard that too. Yeah, I spit. Yeah. So I spit everything I've been through, and then his girl cranks out this super catchy hook, and it's an incredible beat. So once I can do a really, really dope video for that, I'm gonna do it.
Sweet.
So then I got into DJing because it's more logical to make money. I can actually go make $200 a night or $150 a night versus going to rap and you're performing for a bunch of rappers that don't even care. You know what I mean? I got tired of that, so I stopped doing that. So that's how I got into to DJing, and then I just started doing this recently because I feel like this can put some positivity in the world. I wanted to tell my story so that people can see that everyone goes through some shit. Like I remember telling my story to guys in jail and them going, "What? That shit really happened to you?" Yeah. Like it's crazy. It's like worthy of a movie. You know what I mean? But it makes me be the person I am today. I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy to be alive, man. Any day, especially now in this weather, any day I can get up and go walk out and just feel the sun on my face, you know, take a breath. I mean, you should just be happy of that. People need to count their blessings more. I feel like people on my Facebook and just people in general are so miserable, you know?
Yeah, people focus on the negative, and your brain can actually become so used to that you have to stop and reset it. So every time you have a negative thought, you got to replace it with a positive. Yeah. I truly believe if you're like positive and you try to control your thoughts, you can have positive things happen to you.
Yeah, and I mean, the proof is in the pudding with this show. The last episode did over 3,000 views in a week.
Yep.
So it's blowing up on its own now, and it's because it's positive and people like it. And I hope people really like this episode too. And all the other ones, I'm going to be doing all different types of stuff. I'm going to be having my boy Scotty Medeiros on. He's been through anxiety and depression. He's wicked funny. He does the Fall River guy. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be on.
That's great.
Yeah, we're going to tell his story. Then we're going to crack jokes and shit like that. I got a lot of people. Peter Piffett, I'm going to have him on. Focus 401. Key Money just came home from the joint. I should be getting his first interview. And then I'm going to do a couple other things. I'm going to do a funny thing called the Black Guy Perspective. So I'm going to have a black buddy of mine come on that's pretty funny, and I'm going to ask him all the questions that white people are scared to ask black people.
Oh, no, that's going to be...
Royce, I told you. That's going to be really dope. And then I want to do a makeover show too. I know this young kid, he's like 22, goes to college, never got laid. So I want to give him a little makeover and try to get him on a date with a hot girl and either be in his ear saying it or just, try to give him directions on how to talk to girls.
That sounds really fun. I'm not going to miss that one.
Yeah, I want to switch up. And then we're going to interview you one time. And then I actually want to interview Mom Dukes soon. So Mom... maybe for Mother's Day.
You can't leave Mom out.
No, I know. I'm going to have Mom in soon. So that's all the stuff I got coming up. And also, I DJ every Friday night, Amadeo's Lounge, 1492 Park Ave in Cranston. Come out and dance. We're going to be on the patio soon. I'm going to be playing all the newest music, the best older music too, from Color Me Bad to Ty Dolla $ign to Benny Bladez. And I'm dropping a new single soon too called The Baddest Chick I Ever Seen. It's like a Drake type joint. It's like an ode to beautiful independent women. I'm shooting a video real soon with Tillette Studios and a model. I'm getting all shredded up for that, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, I got you. So anyways, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Jen.
me. This is awesome.
Thank you.
This has been great.
And we will see you next time. And like I always say, life's short. Try to be as happy as you can every day. All right?
Every day.
See you next time.